Hello, everybody. It's late. We're tired. But we wanted to do an episode today about Bluey. If you see shadows on me or whatever, just don't worry about it. Not you. Just whoever's watching. Don't be distracted by it. We're trying to figure out lighting and stuff. But we're talking about Bluey because we watch a lot of Bluey, and we just wanted to have a little chat and kind of talk about why we like Bluey. And so I'm excited. I love Bluey. I think I love Bluey more than our daughter. And I think you love Bluey more than even me. Yeah.
I'll admit to that. I love Bluey. It was funny because I think I was just like, another kid's show that Kalani can watch. And I think the first couple of times she was watching it, I kind of was just on my phone, just not really paying attention to it. And then one day I was like, you know what, let me just actually watch what's going on. And I was just like, this show is hilarious. It's like, I relate so much to the dad and relate so much to just having kids. Obviously, we don't have two, but just even having the one and just what they have to go through. And I guess anyone that doesn't have a kid or has never watched Bluey and don't know what it's about a family. Bluey is the oldest daughter. They also have another daughter named Bingo. And there's mom and dad, but they're Australian shepherds? Healers? See? I'm terrible with dog
It's
breeds.
the last name. Their last name is Healer. It's the type of dog that they are. Yeah. But it's a family of healer dogs. A mom and a dad. Dad's name is Bandit. So I was like, Dad's name is Dad. Dad's name is Bandit. Mom's name is Chili, Bluey, and Bingo. And yeah.
Yeah, and I think we love it because of our daughters started it, but let's be honest, we love it more than likely more than her. There's so many times there's like, Bluey, you want to watch Bluey? Because out of all the shows she watched, Bluey's the only one that I'm like, okay, I can sit here and actually enjoy it just as much. Spider-Man I could too, but I feel like Spider-Man and Bluey are the two that we've probably watched a lot. I think this is probably the third or fourth time we're watching through all of Bluey.
Twice. For me.
Well, I mean, I feel like there's been times we've always gone back to another episode or whatever because she's asked for a specific episode that she likes on one of the seasons. But I feel like this is probably the second time from beginning, going all the way back to the beginning. Yeah. But I mean, we've jumped back and forth between seasons and everything.
And there's actually the ones that we're watching now, I have never seen because when I was thinking about it, when I was working, you would take over, I would work, and then you'd just put Bluey on. And I think it's season 1. Yeah, season 1 I had never seen. And oh my gosh. It's like they set the stage. Well, I guess you don't really need to know a lot about the family because you learn about them as you go, but it kind of sets the stage of what to expect throughout the whole seasons. But should we just go right into it? What's your favorite episode? Well, yeah.
You want to jump right into favorite?
Yeah. Oh, what were you thinking?
No, that's fine with me. I don't know the name of the episodes, but anything with the grannies I'm watching. Specifically the one where they're riding the bus is hilarious to me. It's so chaotic, but yeah, anything where Bingo and Bluey are acting like grannies, every single one of those episodes are hilarious if you've never seen them. You don't have to be a kid to like it. It's just hilarious seeing these that are supposed to be little girls acting like they're old, and even their names are hilarious. Rita Rita and Janet.
Where are my brains, Janet?
But yeah, here comes the grannies. Anytime I hear that, I'm like, oh, I'm watching this episode. I'll stop anything to just watch those episodes if we're watching any of those.
So for me, also the grannies, but my favorite one is when there's the yard sale and is it Muffin? And Muffin is trying to sell the wheelchair. So in that one, they were their neighbor's having a yard sale and she wants to go on vacation, but she's like selling everything for super cheap. And the healers are like, you should, have people pay more. And she's like, it's okay, it'll be fine. And she has this this automatic wheelchair. Is it a wheelchair?
Scooter? I don't know.
Scooter wheelchair. She was selling it for like $200 or whatever, which was super low. But at the very beginning, the Bluey, Bingo, and Muffin were like, let's be grannies. And Bluey's like, let me be a happy granny. Bingo's like, let me be a granny that never remembers anything. And then Muffin was like, I don't know what type of granny I'll be. Like, is there such thing as a grumpy granny? And then as they're saying that, they see this grumpy granny come and she's just rude. It's like, I'm going to be a grumpy granny. In the end, she ends up selling the scooter or the wheelchair for a lot of money because Muffin was going at it with the older granny, the older grouchy granny, and ended up selling it for like over $2,000 or something. And yeah, it's just the funniest episode because these kids play these grannies so well, and it's hilarious.
I think my favorite one to watch with Kalani is the TV store or whatever. Yeah, where they're trying to find, what's that girl's name that was sick?
Coco?
Yeah, Coco?
Is it Coco?
I think it is Coco.
She's bumworms.
Bumworms. But yeah, that's one of the funniest ones to watch with Kalani because she really likes that one. Them watching the TVs, the CCC TVs in the store and running around with their friends.
Kalani also really likes to watch the one when they go to a hotel. When they go on vacation to a hotel. 'Cause the part that she laughs at is when there's two parts. No, there's three parts that stick out to me when she watches those and she laughs. When they're in the elevator and the mom is like, Bingo, how do you be happy? And she just looks in the reflection of herself and she goes, and then Kalani laughs every time whenever Bingo goes, and then when they're in the bathroom and the bathroom has the toilet has the ribbon on it and they break the ribbon and then they stop and they clap. Kalani laughs every time. And then when they're getting hit by the recliner chair, giggles all the time. And so, yeah, she loves watching that one.
And then she has a recliner in her room. So anytime she goes in there, she always is looking at it when it's trying to open up. She's like, Bingo, Bluey. It's funny.
Yeah. What was your other one? Favorite?
What is your saddest episode? Okay. So, if you've never watched Bluey, for parents, it is one of the most emotional shows. Because they do get deep and they do like very sentimental. I feel like every episode, it's always like chaotic, maybe kind of funny, but every episode ends with something that you're just like, oh, that maybe reminds you of either your parents, either you being a parent, or so. What's your saddest? I feel like you have a lot. Yeah. Because you cry on a lot of stuff in general, and then Bluey always gets you. I always have to glance over at you like, are you doing okay?
No, you glance over at me because you're like, I feel like I'm going to cry. I should look and see if she's crying. some of the saddest ones were, I'm trying to think. I know for sure the one about Chili's, the mom's sister. She is unable to have babies. That was sad.
The whole thing of that one from beginning to end.
Yeah, I think the episode is called Onesies, and they're playing onesies whenever the aunt comes over. They only play in onesies when she visits because since she can't have puppies or babies, it reminds her of having a baby. But then it's also hard for her to come visit too, because seeing her nieces is a reminder to her that she can't have kids. And so that in itself is hard. But then I saw something in this last episode. Yeah, that she actually was pregnant, and so she was able to get pregnant again. She was able to get pregnant. But that one where she wasn't able to have babies, that one was sad. I cried. I teared on that one. And then I'm trying to think, was there another one that you can remember?
I think
The
Sign.
Yeah, the last one. Yeah, the last one I did cry because, and I teared up a little bit, actually. I teared up a little bit when they were talking about when Bluey was a baby and when she did like her first steps and stuff. It wasn't necessarily sad because those are sad things, but it just reminded me of like when Kulani first started walking. Where was she at when she first started walking? What was she doing? That sort of thing. So I cheered up a little bit that one because that made me like happy a little bit. And then the last one, The Sign, is also like they talk about stuff that makes you think. It's deep. It makes you think. If for a kid's show, you're like a kid's show.
There was a lot of stuff in The Sign because most of the episodes are what, like not even 10 minutes long or 10 minutes or lower. That one's a little bit longer. It's a 30-minute long.
Minutes, yeah.
And I feel like they packed in a lot.
Yeah. So in that one, they're talking about moving. They're trying to sell their house to move. But the kids don't want to move because it's their house that they've done everything in. And in the end, they eventually don't sell the house. They take the sign down because the house has so much memories. But then her sister also gets married. Or was it her sister? Is it her?
Yeah.
Their babysitter.
Chili's sister.
It's Chili's sister. She ends up.
Or is she?
Is it the babysitter? I thought it was the babysitter, right?
No, now I got to rewatch them.
I have to remember. I have to look. But anyways, there's a whole marriage that happens in there, and the bride is like getting cold feet. I don't know. It's just a lot of stuff happening. But in the end, they don't end up selling the house. But then it makes you think, like, the house that we're building so many memories in this house with Kulani. Like, every day she sits in her chair and she eats. And that's where she eats. That's where she's been eating. That's where she ate her first bowl of whatever I gave her. I don't even remember. A banana. She walked, where she runs and plays now was where she used to crawl and lay. And, yeah. Her room up here still is the same, but now we have like a cute little tent thing in there. But her bed used to be higher, and now it's lower, and she can almost climb out of her bed now. And it's just those little memories. That particular episode reminds you of the little things, so you think about like what's important. And I cried. I tried not to like bawl because I held it in, but I saw videos on Instagram of moms just bawling. I was like, okay, I wasn't the only one. I mean, some dads were crying too, but
I didn't dive that deep into it. I didn't even think about all that stuff. That makes more sense, though, why you would be sad. One that hit me, and it recently became sad because I've seen it multiple times, but it wasn't sad. But with the new job and me being away from time to time and being gone, which is the reason we haven't been able to do this as much. But the episode of the curry swap, because it's about, yeah, that's the episode where it's about them going to give the curry to the friend, but at the end of the episode, towards the end of the episode, Dad is leaving for work, because it's talking about how like there's heroes, and so basically the whole episode is about Bingo and Dad going to go give this curry to their friend, but Bingo ends up, and Chili's telling a story to Bluey about basically an adventure, talking about heroes and talking about how heroes usually they don't want to leave the home, but they decide to leave the home anyway because they have to do it because they're the hero or whatever of the story. So the whole story is Bingo didn't want to leave the home at first, but she figured Dad convinced her to go. They go and they go to pass the curry on, and then while she's at the home, the little kid, McKenzie, tells Bingo that her dad's leaving for work or whatever, just leaving for, why are you looking like that? For like a week or whatever, it's going to be gone for an airport, and he's going to be gone. And so she starts freaking out because he's leaving. Well, she ends up getting brave enough to go back to the house, and there's a bird that's trying to attack them at a park. And she ends up figuring out a way to get past the bird without them getting attacked. But then the next part of the episode, the dad ends up leaving and getting on a plane and is leaving. And while he's leaving and everything, Bluey's asking, like, well, why would the hero ever leave? Like, why wouldn't he just stay home? And she explains to Bluey that they don't want to leave. That's the thing with a hero. They usually don't leave, but they have to leave. And first time it didn't really, first two times I watched that episode, it didn't really hit. And then it hit me when I watched it again because I've been leaving, going back and forth and been gone. And so I was like, oh, that hit me. I didn't cry, but I did tear up. But you still haven't, you don't remember that episode?
I don't know.
Oh, you're going to cry when you watch it then. But yeah, that was my saddest one. And it wasn't one that was sad at first. At first I was like, oh, this is a good episode. Oh, I forgot. One episode that I actually really do like is the cricket episode with Rusty.
Oh, yeah.
One, because Anthony's in it from Wiggles, but...
Shout out to Anthony from the Wiggles. We love the Wiggles in this house.
But yeah, that whole episode is interesting, just seeing Rusty and why he likes cricket and him learning how to do all the stuff and how he learned all of it, and then at the end he hits it to his sister.
I just thought of one. I just thought of a really great one. That one is a really good one. I don't know if Kalani likes that one a lot, but she likes the one where they're drawing.
Oh, yeah.
The one where, yeah. So that, I don't even remember what it's called. It might be called Drawing. And now that I'm thinking about it, but it is such a good. Have you ever seen animation like that, like where the characters themselves are telling a story, but it's them drawing it, and you're not seeing what you're seeing is just what they're drawing. Has there been animation like that before? Probably. I don't know if I've ever seen anything like that, but that one is super duper cool.
I think Dexter's Laboratory did it once, actually.
Dexter's Laboratory.
I think so.
For those of you who can't hear, Kenneth said he thinks Dexter's Laboratory did something like that. But like Bingo, Bluey, Mom and Dad are drawing, but we see what they're drawing and the animation is of them, of what they're drawing. And so that one, super cool. And the other one that I like is when they're at the restaurant getting takeout. It's called takeaway. They're getting takeaway, but they stay for the spring rolls, and then everything just gets messed up. But that one, I like that one because I feel like that's so true.
I just thought of another one too, the one with the grandpa when they're doing the
tears.
They're trying to do. They're trying to teach him how to do like Uber Eats, basically, and acting like it's Uber Eats. Yeah. That one was fun.
That one was fun, but was that one where he was supposed to be resting, like taking a rest. Okay, so no, that's a different one. Anyway, so I thought you were talking about that one. This one is also another sad one.
I was wondering why you're thinking it was sad.
Sad. No, I guess the girls and the mom visited Chili's dad, and they were playing with him or whatever, and then they ended up going to the lake, and by the end of it, they're playing in the water, but Chili comes over to her dad. It's like, I'm glad you're taking a rest. Like, yeah, I'm glad, whatever. But it sounded like every grandparent or even like my mom, who does not relax. And it just reminded me of that too. It's just how and it's crazy because it is a kids show, but I feel like there's so much meaning to it. And that it really makes you think about like your family, and it makes you think about like what you're doing, how you're spending time with your family, if you're spending time with your family, what ways that you could be better. And it really shows too kids' imaginations as well. And I think a lot of times too, parents don't really have the patience to be in the imagination with their kids, and so that really shows that it's okay to do that because the dad does that and he plays along, and I wish I had the energy to do that every day, and I don't have the energy to do that, and so sometimes I feel bad about that, but it really does make you think about like, how can I be better? I really, really like the show.
Yeah, I think that's what's crazy about it too, is you can tell the parents want to feed that imagination and try to do as much as possible, and they do a lot, but there's some episodes where it's just too much. So that's what I like about it, that give and take of you trying to feed that imagination, but also just being like, oh, I can't do that. Right. It's too much. Do we want to jump into the debate?
Oh, yeah.
So the most recent episode, what was that called? I don't remember what it was.
Most recent?
Yeah, that was the last episode.
Oh, the sign
of the season.
Was what it was called.
No, not the sign. The one after that is the last one. The one with the dad, with the kid at the end. I thought that was the last one.
Hold on, let me look.
With Bluey in the future.
As an adult. I thought it was the sign.
Well, an adult.
Oh, surprise.
Surprise, yeah, that was the last one, right?
Yeah.
So, I'm pretty sure that was the season ending from what I said and heard and read.
Yeah, I think.
But it ends with a cliffhanger, kind of. And there's been a huge debate going on with a whole bunch of different scenarios going on. But the whole episode, hopefully we're not giving too much away, but whatever. If you ain't watching Bluey, that's your problem, and you can watch it later. And then, spoiler alert, it ends with supposedly a future part of Bluey where Bluey comes back home. She goes inside, and apparently there's a little kid in the front. And the question is, first question, is the kid's Bluey's kid? That's been the biggest argument, biggest debate going on, if it is Bluey's, if it isn't. And then of course, the next question is, if it is Bluey's, who's the dad? I think it's Bluey's kid, first and foremost. And there are two prime suspects that people are putting out there on the internet based off the way this dog looked, mixed. It was it Jean-Luc?
McKenzie.
Jean-Luc, though, is the other one, right? Jean-Luc? Yeah, because you said Jean-Luc Pierre, John Pierre. It's Jean-Luc.
Yeah, it is Jean-Luc.
Jean-Luc or McKenzie. Because based off of those two mixes and Bluey's mix, it kind of was one of those two. Jean-Luc was in the first season, which I didn't know. You didn't see this one, but they met at a campground, and then he had to leave, Jean-Luc, and then Jean-Luc pops back up. They show a future Bluey go back to that campsite, and Jean-Luc just happened to be there.
When I tell you, when I saw that scene, I was like, my heart skipped a beat because they ended up they planted like a tree together, right?
Yes, I
They-
believe so.
they planted a tree. Yeah, they planted a tree when they were kids, and then he like held her hand before he left or whatever. I think he was like, "Bye bye, Bluey," or "Au revoir," whatever he says. And then she goes to find him the next day. He's not there. The family already left. And then time lapse, tree grows. She goes back. She's a teenager, and then he goes, "Hello, Bluey," and I went, "Oh, he's back." How sweet. But Mackenzie makes sense too, because the puppy, Mackenzie has one ear down, and the baby dog had one ear down. Well, I guess it was a toddler. But what was the one where Mackenzie met Bluey?
Well, there's multiple, because Mackenzie and Bluey, they're basically just in the same group. But there was one episode where they were playing and making boats, I guess. That's what a lot of people say. They were making boats and like trying to race each other. And in that episode, a lot of people said that was their beginning of their love story there. It was because the way they are. To me, it's Jean-Luc, and here's why, because someone pointed it out before, is the way they met is similar to how Chili and Bandit met. Because there is an episode where Bandit and Chili, or Bandit's telling a story about how he supposedly met Chili first at a campground. Similar situation. They met each other as a kids, and then they met each other later on.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason I'm like, oh, I'm Team Jean-Luc. Now, the other debate is, it's not Bluey's kid at all. And there's been, well, no, not those parents. A lot of people are saying it's Chili's, whoever, Radford and the other ones.
That doesn't make sense though, because the dog is similar colors to Bluey.
But they have broken down this dog compared to Chili's dog, sister, or whoever got married. If it was Chili's sister or babysitter or whatever it was, and Radford, they've compared those two, and they looked, and it looks, it's a mix of them.
Though. The dogs, though, are both light colored, so how did they get a dark colored dog if they're both blonde? If the dogs are both blonde, how do they have a dog with blue hair?
The only
that doesn't make
thing
sense.
that makes sense about this argument was that people were saying that there's no way Bluey is that old in that video. They're saying that she's in college and she's coming back from college, and then that's her. Because if you look at the timeline difference, it would make sense that that's not her kid. She's just visiting from college. And then that's why Bingo was already in the back, was because Bingo would have been in high school then. She wouldn't have been old enough to be on her own. That's the theory going around. And then that kid's just...
Yeah.
They're just babysitting that kid.
There was another theory, though, too, that it is an oopsie between Chili.
I didn't hear that one.
Chili and Bandit. Because they're old or whatever. The only thing I don't understand is usually with dogs, you have a litter of like 12. 10 to 12 dogs. I understand this is a cartoon, and you can, when you're making a cartoon, when you're creating a cartoon, you can have it be whatever you want. But it doesn't make sense that they're having one dog at a time, because dogs have like 10 dogs at a time.
Yeah, but then if you did that, it wouldn't connect with us as much.
That's true.
We ain't
You're
popping
right.
out no 10
You're right.
kids at a time.
You're right. I think I looked on, let me look. I looked on Reddit because people were going, people,
I was going to say, I've seen some people really getting heated with this debate.
people were,
But Team Jean-Luc. What team are you on? If it is Bluey's kid.
Jean-Luc, for sure. Because, I don't know, the love story, well, even if it is a love story, it's cute. Okay, hold on. I saw it on here. And why should I care? I just saw the shirt.
Oh, man.
I just saw the shirt.
Oh, do they have that shirt? I'd rock that.
I could probably make you a shirt.
And that stinking unicorn is so annoying. For real life.
Okay, I'm gonna.
I completely forgot about that stinking annoying unicorn. And why should I care?
Okay. Okay, so in case there are people who still think that Bingo is the mother of the kid. Bingo? Oh, I didn't read this one.
Where's the thing with Bingo? I've never heard that Bingo was part of this.
We see things. I think this post is from official Bluey Twitter account. Confirms that Bluey is in fact the mom. It says some things never change, and it's a picture of when Bluey has the laser thing, and then the dog, the baby dog, also has the thing. Let's see. There's actually a small detail in the episode itself that seems to imply it's her kid. When Chili opens the door, you see Bluey looking down for a split second before immediately looking up at her mom. Bandit also pauses for a moment before closing the door, as if he's waiting for someone else to come in.
People diving deep into this mess. I didn't dive that deep into it.
I didn't either.
I just watched a couple of videos.
Oh my gosh, people are
Yeah,
annoying.
I bet. Another thing to talk about, though, with Bluey. We can't be, and I feel like if you don't dance when the intro comes in, what's wrong with you? The intro to Bluey is fire, and anytime it comes on, Kalani dances and makes us dance too. So can't play it because I'm not trying to get no copyright, but
No.
that song goes hard.
It does. Someone put here, I'm gonna be real. I saw the ending on TikTok and thought it was some joke ending with Muffin as a time traveler. Someone else said, Muffin Terminator crossover is a collab I never knew I needed. Oh, anyone see the comment that the plot twist of it is that it's Muffin's child and she has temporary custody while she's in jail? I think this is a funny joke, but she crashed a police car in the fountain again. Oh my gosh. People are literally That is crazy. But what if it was Muffin's kid? That would be hilarious. Muffin and socks. Oh, here's, I don't know.
It can't be Muffin and socks together.
I don't know if you can see that. Kalani loves to do that floss dance.
Can you think of anything else when it comes to Bluey that comes off the top of your head? You had any questions or other thoughts?
I don't. I just love the show so much. I really do. And one thing that I absolutely hate? I hate that the toys and stuff are so expensive. No, I went to Walmart and I went to look, not for the figurines like your mom got her, but like it was a whole set of like the house and the characters, and it was like $30. I guess it makes sense. I guess it makes sense because, inflation or whatever. But I feel like at least worth $20. Or maybe it could have been 40 or something. But to me, I don't know. It's expensive. I mean, we were able to find a very cool cup at the Dollar Tree. And it was a bingo. No, it was a Bluey cup. That was cool. And then the clothes, I don't know, clothes are kind of expensive too. But I guess everything's kind of expensive now. Nothing is cheap anymore. But I just hate that it's expensive.
Sorry, I was just like, it's basically Disney, so for the American side, Disney basically owns it and is the one that copyrights it, so that's one reason why it's pricey. That's about the price range of Disney stuff. That's why I'm like, it's not really that expensive if you're putting it into account that it's probably Disney. My question is, if Disney does have, because it seems like Disney does have some type of rights for it if it's mainly on Disney Plus and Disney Junior and stuff, will Bluey show up in Disneyland?
I mean, that would be pretty cool, but if you think about it, how are you going to do, like if you're thinking about concepts and rides and characters,
somewhere in Toontown, if they expand it and then put her somewhere in Toontown. I mean, Vern Roger Robert's there, but I guess that makes sense. He has all those tunes and stuff in it, but
yeah,
it's the only thing I can think of.
Yeah. What would be cool though is if they did, because I mean, Bluey is huge, like very popular. So if they were to bring Bluey to Disneyland, I feel like you at least have to have like the house or something there. And if even like in Toontown, Mickey and Minnie's house, they don't necessarily have rides, but at least the house to walk through is pretty. That would be pretty cool just to walk in, and you either that or maybe they have like the backyard or something, something in the show that shows that. But like, if you were to do a ride, what ride would you do?
The granny bus ride.
The granny bus ride, yeah. That, or I don't know. I feel like you would have to be extremely creative to figure out how you would make it work in Disneyland. I don't feel like it would work in Disneyland. But the Imagineers know. I'm just a simple person. Don't have that creative capacity like that. But yeah, it would be cool if they brought it there. But they do have other stuff. Like around the world, they have other activities and stuff that they do, which is pretty cool. But yeah.
Yeah, which I guess there's a store in LA.
Is there?
Yeah, there's a store in LA. I was telling you about this and you said you knew about it. They have a separate area where you can actually go in and it's like Bluey's house and everything.
I don't remember you telling me that.
You said that you saw that already, and
Are you sure it was me who said that?
yes, who else would I be talking about Bluey with?
Wasn't your other girlfriend?
But no, I told you that, and you said, "Oh yeah, I saw that on Instagram or whatever." But it's a store where they have like clothing and everything, but they also have a place where it's like a secret wall, and if you pay, you can pay to actually visit. And when they open the wall, it has Bluey's house in there. You can run around. You can actually play keepy uppy, and then there's at the end you get to see Bingo and Bluey. But they're like life size. They're huge.
I'd be freaked out. Bluey, you are as big as a human. I remember seeing that. I think that would be so cool. I think it would be cool if they created something like a life-size house for us to walk through. I think that would be so cool. Sit on the pretend couches. The hard couches. I think that would be super cool.
Well, this was fun. Let's wrap this up, though, because it is late. Why would you yawn right into the mic?
You said it's late and I'm tired.
Okay, you got any prayer requests? We're going to close out in prayer as always. Thank you for stopping in. If you are watching this later, thank you for everything you're doing. If you did stop in here, make sure you like, share. If you're on YouTube, subscribe. But yeah, we will catch you guys next time. We always close out in prayer. Thank you, Jesus, for today. I thank you for blessing us and watching over us. I thank you for this time that we are given. And I pray that you just, whoever's watching this, touch them, whatever need they're going through or anything that is bothering them. We pray that this gave them a little bit of a reprieve and that they are able to just feel your presence, even though we weren't talking about you or talking about the Bible. We thank you so much for just allowing us the ability to be able to do this, and we just thank you for everything you're doing in our lives. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, everyone. We will catch you guys next time. We will try to do this a little bit more.
Yes.
Now that I'm getting a little bit more comfortable with my job, we'll probably do more like this, though. It will probably just be randomly done. Probably not as set as it was before, but when we have the time, we'll probably be on. So stay tuned. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook. And yeah, we will catch you next time.